Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Please visit audiblepodcast.com/wizard for your free audiobook download.
Idle Thumbs. Games, video 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 games, video. Video games.
It's October 9th, 2013.
This is Idle Thumbs 127. I'm Chris Remo.
I'm Jake Rodkin.
And I'm Sean Vanneman.
Good.
We got through that one.
We have been destroyed by the Yawhg.
Well, I made out okay. I think it's worth remembering that...
I think we've all been psychologically destroyed by the Yawhg.
Yeah, but...
You've got to cope with the weight of everybody going blind, thanks to you.
Yeah, but I'm still, paying my rent.
It's true.
I think it's worth pointing out.
So we played a really cool, very short, kind of, 20-minute long game called The Yawhg, which is I already forget how it's spelled.
Y-A...
I think it's
WHG.
Yeah.
WHG.
The YAWHG.com, The Yawhg. It's a game by that's written and illustrated by Emily Carroll, who's a pretty awesome illustrator on the internet, and she also did a few
and in real life, I
little
suppose.
bits for Gone Home. Yeah. She's great. I met her at the Gone Home lunch party. And I don't remember who the other person is who made this game, but which
makes us cool.
Which makes us super awesome. Well, it's I know the person I'm familiar with, but it's really cool. We played through it together. You can play through it with up to 4 people at the same computer. You each choose a character and then just go through this very kind of straightforward series of narrative choices and reactions. And you and your companions have 6 weeks in this town before an unspecified event or disaster known as the Yawhg occurs. And so you're making good with your time in whatever ways you see fit for those 6 weeks, and then that happens, then more stuff happens. So you can, I'm not going to spoil it. You can either play it or you can just watch our stream of it at twitch.tv/idlethumbs.
It's safe to say that Sean spent most of those 6 weeks drunk.
Yeah.
And I spent
definitely
most of them
safe to
getting
say
in
that.
fights.
Yeah. I might have gone up to an alchemist tower.
I went to the garden, tried to make out with a frog.
That's true.
So, I mixed it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy balls were attended. Anyway,
Sorry, I thought you were making reference to my guy getting naked in the first act.
Fancy balls were attended and observed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's one of those games. I don't really know. There's
$5, right?
Yeah, it's $5. It's really, really great.
Yeah.
It's also on Greenlight, so you could probably help them out by giving it the Greenlight vote if you just watch the stream and don't pay for it. Like, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it's very simple, interactive.
I love games like this, though.
Interactive fiction. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean simple as a pejorative. But the fact that it is 4 players who, are playing. Their stories, at least ours, didn't cross. I got the sense that maybe you could end up crossing paths with the aftermath of other people's events, but we didn't.
Yeah.
But it's cool just having the 3 parallel events that take place over 6 weeks. It feels like you're seeing the actual story of this town in a cool way.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because the game.
Tell me why it's interesting.
That's his.
A thing that I found interesting was that the game tracks 8 or 9 different statistics for each character, character stats, like
a D&D.
Yeah, strength or physique and finesse and charm and mind and magic and all these things. But the game is super opaque about how those things actually affect what happens. So it's clear that there is a relationship between, at least it seems that there is a relationship between your character's stats and the outcome of certain actions you can choose to pursue. Like if you get in a physical altercation, it seems like if you have high enough physique, that's actually what causes it to work out in your favor rather than the other way around, and so on. But that stuff is really opaque. It's not like you're rolling a die and the screen is showing you what the numbers are and whether you made it or not. And I like that about it.
Yeah,
I like that because that's the only thing that matters is the choice you make and the result. Like decisions aren't made based on comparing numbers to a minimum in your head.
It means you can't walk up to a decision and then know if I go left, I'm going to get 3 charisma.
Right, exactly. Or have like a 50% chance of doing so.
Right, exactly.
Like it's nice.
It helps your current stat sheet. Like it helps inform the choice at the moment where you're like, well, I am a reasonably charismatic person. Maybe I will try to break up this fight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's all about the lead up, I guess, instead of the.
Well, it's also written in such a way that you don't think of any of the choices you make in the way of success and failure. So even if you are going to attempt to do something, and then you feel like you have a appropriate stat that's good enough to accomplish whatever event you've chosen, you pretty much you can't expect the outcome. It's very rarely that. I mean, every once in a while it says, "Good, you did it."
You did it.
But because the game is written well, the fun of the game exists in the unexpected space where you were successful in doing the thing that you set out to do, but a unexpected consequence happened.
It seems like a game that would actually be increasingly fun, directly proportionate to the size of the audience that's watching it happen. Like if you had 4 people up on a stage at a movie theater and you had an audience who was there knowing they were going to have to read some weird stuff and was into it, that would be the craziest experience of this game that could ever happen because the 2 choices would come up. Someone would have to make
people
one.
Start shouting things.
Yeah, and then the game tells you what happened because of what you did, and it's usually unpredictable. So I think it's the sort of game that I think would drive an audience crazy successfully. Like it seems like a good. I mean, their trailer is that. I guess it's just a group of friends who have never played it before. You just hear the audio of them going bananas when stuff happens, but it seems like it'd be good.
It's also illustrated really nicely. Like if you follow Emily Carroll on Twitter and you've seen any of her artwork, it's that. It looks really good. It's really pretty.
You were going to talk about Crusader Kings.
Oh yeah, I was. So I happen to know. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly. When I met Emily and her partner up in Portland at the Gone Home lunch party, I think they're actually really into Crusader Kings, and it's funny because this game reminds me of the things that happen in Crusader Kings, like incidental things that happen in between the
like when,
grand scheming.
When the king decides to buy and maintain a bar for no reason.
Right. And the game just gives you it's treated exactly like that, where you're just given these options about how you want to react, and they're presented just in a straightforward narrative way without like any of the kind of crazy like bureaucracy of the core game. They're just things your character has to do. Like, I am going to set up this bar and
I'm going to charge $2 for the beer.
Yep. And like, I'm going to put all the salt in the food. Like just all these dumb decisions. And like, you just do them and things happen. And a lot of times it's funny or outrageous. And you end up getting character stats as a result of that sometimes. But it was funny to see this game, which is basically just rips away all of the super arcane, kind of obscure feudalism, mechanics of Crusader Kings, and it's just those parts. It's just the weird little incidental things that happen. And it was cool. I like that. I like when games kind of narrow in on the thing that they're about and just sort of say, that's it. That's what the game is. It's the thing that it is. That's the reason you're playing it is because of this, and that's just what's in it, and that's it. I like that a lot. I mean, not that every game should be that. I'm glad Crusader Kings is the insane, morass of mechanics it is, because that is one of the things that allows it to successfully feel like you're actually managing this insane bloodline and there's political, disaster at all times. So it's good that it is that way.
Speaking of
but
a game
I also like this thing.
Insane pile of everything. I'm just saying this for the record so that I guilt myself into doing it, but I put GTA 5 into my Xbox and played the first 40 minutes of it this morning.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I think that I got 40 minutes into a GTA game, so I don't know enough.
Did it start with like 35 minutes of cutscenes?
No, it actually...
Oh, good.
Actually, yeah, to GTA 5's super credit, it starts with like a second of cutscene, and then there's a ton of interactive stuff, but it's still not the main game. It's a flashback from 9 years ago that you played.
And you're on like a specific...
Yeah, you're being tutorialized through a track, and then it cuts forward.
Did you get through that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I basically stopped halfway through the first mission of the game right before the city unlocks because I had stuff to do. But I just wanted to say that I'm playing it on the podcast so that I then
So now people will like at reply you on Twitter and say, how's that GTA 5 going?
Yeah, so I hope to get like 5 hours in at least by next week. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I'll play some GTA 5. I played like 2 hours of it on Friday with a group of people on a projector
I didn't
at
really,
a party.
I didn't really get into
Wait, I have like deja vu of you. Was that last Friday?
It
Or
was,
was it the
last
Friday before?
I haven't seen you since then. Did I see you this weekend?
No, I know, but I just have deja vu of you saying that on a podcast. But maybe it was just you saying it to me in my life. And
It
I just-
was because it was
Okay.
just
It was Friday night.
Okay.
Today is Monday. Yeah.
I didn't really like GTA San Andreas, which I know a lot of people think I'm a chump for that being
People
the case.
say some people say it's their favorite one.
I know, but I can sort of just even from watching other people play. Like my friend Jared played a chunk of it at my house over the weekend. And
Of 5, you mean?
Of 5, and I saw you playing it over the weekend, Sean. The scale of the world of 5 is crazily appealing to me. All the seeing the outdoor stuff and just
Along the lines of San Andreas.
Yeah, it's not. I
It's
don't,
fucking nuts.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's so crazy. I mean, this is not like newsflash. A lot of content in GTA game, but the thing that, like, the sort of moment that I had playing it on Friday that I haven't had in other GTA games, and it's probably more about where I am in my life and less about the actual scale of the game. But there are I couldn't even count. There's probably 20,000 slices of geometry in that world where you could just set a game or a scene of a game. Like, we went over the road in the car, like tumbled down a hill and then splashed into like the water line of a lake, and we got out and we were underneath this sort of like burned out house and dock, and there's nothing down there. But I can definitely see being like, this is where this section of this game takes place,
Right,
underneath
you
this
put an
dock.
entire other video game. Instead.
Yeah, like this is such an amazing space.
Well,
so we
GTA
went to like a shitty motel on the side of the road out in the desert, and it's like, this is just where a whole fucking game takes place, in this shitty motel. Like, I want to open up this door and there's going to be a guy in there and he's going to have a whole thing going on.
Well, it's probably going to give you a mission where it turns into a cover shooter.
There were no doors to be opened in no door. And that's like watching, because I was playing with my wife, watching her sort of poke at the possibility space seems is so interesting. She's like, can you go in that room? I was like, probably not.
The thing that's funny though is GTA 5. I bet you can go in more rooms than you can in any previous GTA game. They're all just inside of the hearts of those spaces. They're not going to be in the weird
Right.
in one weird old hotel.
But you know that because you
Discovered by
play
mom.
video games, you know. But like, the visual identifier for what is a door you can go into versus not go into
You
is
can
a
tell
learned
this is
skill.
one total texture on this wall rather than...
yeah.
Exactly. But you know, if you don't have that very weird skill, the game feels like, even that makes it like a gamer's game versus somebody who can just pick it up and play.
Well, the other thing, the thing about it for me, GTA 5 is a game that I want to play, but I kind of only want to play one of the games that's inside it. Like, I don't usually get hung up on like how much games cost or anything like that, because whatever, it is what it is. But I know that there's such a huge percentage of GTA 5 that is the stuff I don't like or want in it. You know, then there's the stuff I do, which is just like cruising around this big, amazing environment and like just...
You can get to that stuff pretty fast. In fact, that's all I did for my 3 hours of playing it.
And that's... If I get the game, that's all I'm going to do. It's just always such a bummer to me, because I feel like I've just done that so much in GTA games already that I'm like, all right, I could do that again, which is fine.
But you can with my copy of GTA for a few hours.
Yeah, I
probably GTA fill.
Yeah, I probably just will do that.
We definitely spent an hour of our 3 hours stealing jets from the airport and jumping out of them, trying to land in swimming pools.
That sounds pretty good.
It was pretty fun. Yeah.
Did you ever hit a swimming pool?
Nick Mastriani hit a pond at a golf course.
Solid. Acceptable.
Yeah. Not
The
bad.
rest of you guys splatted.
And then he climbed on top of a bus and then rode it like a surfboard all over West LA, shooting people with rockets for as long. He had 5 stars by the time he was done. It was pretty impressive.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But he was probably on that bus for 10 minutes solid. It's pretty good. Anyway, GTA.
He did that after skydiving.
But so those are the two things that happened in the moment that Amelia came into the room and sat down and said, "What are you playing?"
Right.
And I was like, I don't even know how to tell you what you're about to see. And then Nick stole
a criminal simulator,
a fucking G5 jet,
Yeah.
and then skydived into a fucking golf course,
Right.
and then murdered 300 civilians before being shot down. And she's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's bizarre,
I don't really
right?
know how to tell you what this is.
It's the story of a mobster and his 2 bank robber friends.
Yeah, don't you see? He has a problem in his life that he's trying to solve.
Yeah.
Trying to navigate this maze.
Yeah, it's a taut social drama, hon. Hold on. The thing is actually, because the game is so beautiful and so well rendered, when he flew this plane as far into the sky dome as possible, which is far, like curvature of the earth far, very, very, very high, and jumped out of it. When you see the guy jettison himself from the jet, your heart, we were also playing it on like a giant, probably 8
I know
foot,
that feeling,
8
though.
foot by
Yeah,
10 foot
in a game.
projector. Your heart just goes like, oh,
Yeah.
into your throat. Where you just go,
Yeah.
that got close to what I imagine my brain thinks that's going to
This
feel
is-
like
this is
when
a-
I die.
It's a weird, stupid tangent
In an
to jump to,
airplane.
but I was looking at, first someone linked it on Twitter, but someone has made a first-person mod for the new Saints Row.
Oh, yeah, that was
Saints
crazy.
Row 4, because that game's usually third-person like GTA,
Right.
but someone has just hacked a camera into the guy's head, and the tutorial's like, select this clothing item to make the character's head disappear, so that, so that you don't see the inside of their mouth and stuff.
Right.
But there's one moment in the video that the guys uploaded where someone does one of those huge like third-person leaps across the entire city that I guess you do in things like Saints Row
Or Crackdown.
or something.
Yeah.
But that in first person,
It just looked like Mirror's Edge or something, but times like 10,000.
Like,
It was
a
crazy.
whole
I know,
city
yeah.
underneath you, but just
Yeah.
that jump.
Yeah, it was
and
crazy.
When they got to like the apex of the jump, I was watching it full screen, and I did that though. Where I just went, like I got vertigo and fear for a second, and then the guy landed, and I was like, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I guess I should play Saints Row 4 with the first person mod. That will never happen. But I saw it on YouTube. It was crazy. Anyway, sorry. It's totally unrelated.
No.
Rubbing salt into the
related.
wounds of the Saints Row boosters who were like, he's gonna play it. I'm not gonna do that.
True
Oh.
confession. The real reason, Chris, that I linked you that first-person mod page before I watched the trailer was because of the horrible animated GIF that was the logo that was just
I know.
like a Photoshop globe pulsing 4 times. And then I clicked play on the YouTube video and went, oh, this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Games.
I will. I'm not going to keep playing GTA 5.
I gotta play a little bit of GTA 5.
It actually gave me nostalgia for Red Dead Redemption, which I might go back and play. I've been finishing games lately. It's a weird thing.
Nice. What have you finished?
Arkham City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost to the end. There's a hilariously weird thing at the end of Arkham City. First off, the story is ludicrous, but
Surprise.
First, you're Batman.
you are a Batman. You're a Batman.
Get this. In this game, you play this guy who dresses up kind of like a bat. And he goes to this jail, but
city. It's a city
like
jail.
City now. This jail is like a whole city for one thing. The guy in charge is a clown. I don't know. Did they think this was cool? What were they? Who made this?
There's
Rocksteady
mutated
Games.
people, one of whom freezes you.
Oh, yeah.
He's always saying things like "cool ice, cool freezing ice, chill
Ice to
out,
meet you?
ice to meet you, cool freezing freeze." I don't know. Weird.
So you've played it.
He's not in that game, is he?
Yeah, of course he is.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, actually,
It's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it doesn't say cool as ice.
no. His boss encounters is actually really good. It's sort of adventure game-esque. You're using the environment to thwart him. It's actually nice.
Cool.
And so I played 19 hours of Arkham City, which is a lot of video game for me. And then I stopped playing it. I can't remember why necessarily. I might have like moved my computer. Like,
I remember you
think,
talking about it like a year.
I think it was like a life thing. Like I moved my computer, or like I went on a trip.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
You were also disappointed by the Catwoman DLC at the time, I remember. That was also
I was very disappointed by the Catwoman DLC.
by its absence on your machine, but it taunting you inside of the
with
game at all
trophies
times.
that I could always
Oh,
see.
right. That sounded really dumb.
Right. It's fine. Whatever. You know what got me to replay it was you showing me that screenshot company Whatever
Oh, no,
those
not
guys are
Screenshot
called.
Company, but it just...
Who are those guys?
We were looking through the Dead End Thrills website.
Oh, Dead End
Yeah,
Thrills.
we were looking
That
at Dead
is a
End
great
Thrills. I'm like,
site.
God, that's a fucking beautiful game. I have that game on my computer.
Yeah.
So I got back into playing, and
Yeah.
fucking it looks great.
God, has that guy done any GTA 5 shots yet?
I don't know. There's no PC GTA 5.
Oh, right.
When there is, he will.
Yeah.
They put up a ton of Dishonored stuff recently,
You know,
which is just amazing.
the-
In all likelihood, I'll probably just get that game when it comes out on Steam. Just so that listeners don't get their hopes up before that.
It'll be $10 to $15 less. It'll look better.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, like, at this point, this is not a thing that applies to anyone, really, but just the way I think about console games at this point. Like, I so infrequently play console games that when I go out and buy a console game, I feel like I'm like...
It was weird going to buy GTA 5.
Yeah, it feels like
could
I'm
have
doing
downloaded
something. It's like...
Downloaded it.
To go buy this console game and a disc and put it in this machine, and like it feels like a process, but I know that the way that I want to play GTA 5 is not like time to get my $60 worth out of this disc that I bought for my video game machine. It's just like I just kind of want to load it up and chill out in the world for a while, and then just that is what I want out of that game.
Learn an instrument. You were talking about Batman, though. I want to hear your Batman.
Oh,
I want to hear your Batman.
these are going to be Batman Arkham City spoilers because I have to.
Okay,
I
so
really have
you've
to.
been warned. This game's what, 18 months old or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. The new one's coming out soon, so it's okay to talk about it.
There's another one already?
Yeah, it's Arkham Legends.
Origins.
It's
I don't know.
no.
Seriously?
It's Batman fucking Silver Era. No, is that it? No. This is the one. There's a search.
Arkham, it's
I'm
Batman
going to
Arkham Silver. You
search
use
Google
it to
for
cool your
Batman
CPU.
Google.
Batman
I just searched.
Google?
My brain
Batman
meant
Google is a blues musician.
I meant Batman game, but then as I was saying it, my brain
Scatman
replaced
Google.
it with
Batman Google.
Yahoo.
Batman?
Oh my God, it is Batman's set to begin again in Arkham Origins game.
Yeah.
Why are they? Is it like a disease?
Batman
Is there like
Origins.
one of those ants that implants your brain with a virus that makes you do things that it just crawls?
One
into
of those
everyone in the-
ants? You referred to that like it's an actual biological creature, a mind-changing ant.
Well, it's like a bacteria that like a spore that infects an
probably-
ant.
Oh yeah, or an ant.
There's
like
an ant or like a weevil that
That's
goes
not
in.
Yeah,
that.
it's probably a brain
It's
weevil.
creature that lives in the world that makes animals' brains do weird things.
That exists. That's true.
It's a real fucking thing.
Yeah,
you should
I know.
watch videos
No,
of
I
this.
get it. Yeah.
Terrifying.
I don't need anything in
It's
my brain.
fucking petrifying.
I know. I have sometimes I fear that I have a tapeworm or something.
It's got nothing on the crazy spore that infects your brain. Like, you're at least aware of what the tapeworm is doing to you, kind of. But
I think if the spore was in my brain, somebody could whisper in my ear, "This thing's fucking eating your brain," and then I would know, and then I'd freak out and then I'd
you
kill myself.
would still do the thing that it's making you do.
You'd be like, it's totally scary. I have to eat these. These are like weird one spice. Like this one tuber.
Well, you know,
Whatever that animal craves.
they do crazy
That
things.
one
Like,
spice.
one of them makes ants, like, crawl up to, like, the high point on ferns and stuff, and it's so specific, it makes them orient themselves in a precise direction, like a specific angle to the sun. Like, they crawl and position themselves that way at a specific angle so that the, like, crazy thing that splits their head open and grows out of their head, like, gets the proper sunlight angle. That's how specific the brain directions are. It's insane.
I didn't think ants had
It's
brains.
fucked up.
I thought they were a decentralized nervous system.
Whatever, however it works, it makes their self.
What are you
do
reading?
things. Nothing. I'm waiting for Batman.
He's
to
searching
find
for Batman Google.
to find this.
Okay, I know this is a real thing that I'm saying. I just don't know what it's called, so I don't know how to search for it.
It's fine. Search for bug that infects bug brain.
I really got to finish this now.
Yeah.
The
I wanna keep
developers
talking.
of the upcoming video game Batman Arkham Origins are taking the character back to basics for the third installment in Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment's popular Arkham series.
Our brains itch, says lead designer.
Oh man, it's set during the second year of Bruce Wayne's tenure as the Dark Knight.
That's cool.
Spider-Man.
It's actually funny
voice-
because
sorry.
I know that the voice actor who does Batman is like a guy, and he does Batman for
that a lady?
real.
Is it the cartoon? The animated
I don't
series
know.
Batman?
I'm just really uneducated about those things. But Mark Hamill does the Joker and is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So like the really stilted, like clunky Batman up against this really dynamic Mark Hamill as the Joker that happens 3 or 4 times in the game. Ugh, kills me every time. Every time. Because Batman doesn't. I guess he's the player character. He doesn't like emote or gesture in these dialogues.
Right.
And even in the cutscenes, he's very feels like he's got like a 2x4 up his back. But Mark Hamill's performance and the Joker animation is all fucking really good. So
I remember it being good. I played the first Arkham game, the Arkham Asylum.
yeah, it's
Which I liked a
it's
lot.
more the
He
same
was
when it
good in
comes to
that.
the Joker.
That's what I said. Yeah.
You get to a point in the game where like the bad guys who are doing shit in the city pull off their bad thing. I can't remember the name of it now. God, I literally played it 3 hours ago. And Batman gets trapped underneath a bunch of rubble after defeating the Joker and all of his minions, which is a good fight. It was a good boss fight. It was fun. And then Batman gets kind of like he's effectively getting dead, or he's stuck. And then it cuts to Catwoman, which it has done a couple times earlier in the game. And you're continuing her thread of the story. And you go and you pickpocket some dudes and you break into this.
Those you play as Catwoman now. Oh, that happens a couple times.
Yeah, it does happen actually in the story. It doesn't or you can just get the full on Catwoman DLC and play through the whole thing as Catwoman, I guess. But you get to the end of like her story. She like finally gets back the like these like artifacts or some sort of like MacGuffin that she needs or wants because it's valuable from a safe. Gets them, is walking out, and then as you're walking as Catwoman, you see Batman in trouble, and it goes, go left to save Batman, or go right to leave Arkham City. And I'm like, and she's sitting there holding like her get, and like, well, I'm fucking leaving Arkham City. Like, yeah, that's what this character does in this version of this game that I play. Absolutely. Like, Selena Kyle doesn't go and save Batman. Are you joking? So I walk to the right, down a hallway. She, like, is talking while I'm doing this. She says something like, screw him. And I open the door, and I walk out, and I walk into this alleyway, and I walk up these stairs, and I walk out into the street carrying her loot. And then the credits roll. Like, game fucking over.
So you did finish.
And there's all these threads that are like...
Or is there a classic comic book movie post-ending?
Well, there's all these threads that have been left unclosed. Like the Mr. Freeze thread is still open, the Joker thread. I don't even know what like the fucking villain's goal was or anything. And I'm just walking into the street and the credits roll. I'm like,
Right.
that is the weirdest, kind of ballsiest ending.
Screw him, Batman.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. So I just sort of sat there and went, well, fucking A, thank God, actually, I beat it. It's done. Then, I swear to you...
Does Batman's fist punch out of the trash like fucking Super Shredder?
No.
But they did it wrong.
Okay. What they did do was literally you hear like the chick of like a rewind button, and then the credits go. And it walks you. No. It walks you all the way back into the vault where you got her you got her loot, and she's standing there again.
Yeah.
And it just goes
really
replay. What? So I walk out of the vault.
Yeah.
I walk right up to the T intersection of the hallway, left to save Batman, right to leave Arkham City.
Yeah, so you leave again.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the door, I go to open the door, and Selena Kyle goes, I can't leave Batman.
What?
I'll hate myself. And then you have to go, and then you have to go and finish the rest of the game.
Man, that I don't know.
So I basically went, and no, but then what's funny is I dropped her loot. I couldn't carry it with me anymore. And I like do some Catwoman stuff. Like I basically traverse 100 meters of game space, not very far. Mm-hmm. I find Batman underneath the rubble. I lift up a piece of rubble. It's about the size of this table. Batman gets up and he goes, I have to finish what I started, and leaves. And now I'm Batman again. Like I literally walked. What? Like Batman could have. It's fucking so weird.
What a weird what?
I want to. We should watch it on YouTube or something. I have to show you.
I don't know the version of my
that
brain.
That is bizarre.
It was incredibly bizarre to play. It's one of those things where it's like sometimes you can make a choice in life that is so fucking bold, but if you undo it, it's like 10 times wussier than had you just not made the choice.
Right, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like it's like it'd be like saying like, will you marry me? And then she like goes, oh my god, and you go, psych.
Actually, yeah.
Like, you know,
help Batman.
Sorry, actually,
right here.
Fuck, I can't.
And then Batman gets up and
fuck,
leaves.
I can't. No, I can't marry you. Oh, fuck. Anyway,
Sorry, I got to finish what I started.
Like, exactly, you know? Had you just let things be the same, everything would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah, it was like that. Or it's like somebody had his... I want to know the fucking story of this idea.
Once Batman's safe, though, you can go back to marrying that person.
Yeah, of course.
He's good. He's off on his own adventure now. He's fine.
Yeah.
That would work.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I almost finished a video game. I finished a video game in my mind, which I think is good enough.
Your true end was Catwoman saying "F this" and just walking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of just willing.
Yeah, man, I'm all about those like true ends of video games that are way better
True
than the
ends.
like.
I had one in Skyrim too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like video game endings are just.
Did you ever
man,
talk about
they're
your true end of
bad most
Skyrim?
of the time.
It's really dark. I basically went all the way through the Assassin's Guild Brotherhood thing, which is a wonderful storyline. You should totally play it or get far enough into the game to get through it. It's really, really fun. The characters are super dynamic and really like memorable. I became a master murderer. Went to the next town where I thought like the next story thread I was gonna tease out would be.
Yeah.
Was in the middle of it, and then the character said something really like the NPC said something really stupid to me, or it was a bad line of dialogue, and I got annoyed. And then I realized that it was the first time in the game where if I got annoyed, I could just kill anybody. So I killed every living person in this town, every single living person in this town, starting with the king, and then walked out and stood in the snow, like the swirling, like.
Oh man!
And I had this like moment where like, oh, can't undo that. I'd never done that before. I'd never killed like a civilian, and I killed every civilian I could.
Right. Cut to black.
And I just fucking shut it off
for 5
I literally
seconds.
like alt F4, like it's like done. That's it. And I have not played Skyrim since that moment.
That's solid. You can't beat it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah. I was drunk with power.
So just as a quick aside here,
Is this that brain?
Cordyceps unilateralis is a parasitoidal fungus that infects ants and alters their behavior. The ant falls from the tree where it normally lives, climbs on the stem of a plant, clamps its mandibles on a leaf, and dies there, while the fungus consumes its tissues and grows outside of it, releasing its spores. The infected ants are popularly known as zombie ants. This is a prime example of a parasitoid that alters the behavior of its host in order to ensure its own reproduction. Possessed ants march to their death, and the fungus lives on inside the exoskeleton. How fucked up is that?
That's really fucked up.
Yeah. Then there's
It feels like a shorter jump to go from that to a real life Last of Us than to go from nothing like that existing on the globe to that. To the ant thing.
nature
You know what I mean?
is
From
fucked up.
nothing
Oh, yeah.
to the ant.
We can't think
is
of
such
things
a
that are more
giant,
fucked up
bigger
than this.
jump than the ant to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from us to the Last of Us.
Oof.
You were gonna read more ant facts?
It's just there's just more.
had
It's
something
just
else to
terrifying.
say.
If you read more about this
never
shit,
mind.
it's really scary.
I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
I got more video games I've been playing.
You're all about those games.
You should just start a video game company. All you do is sit around and play other video games. I
That's
got
what
a
I
book.
heard you. Well, I know that.
Well, no, I got a
I've
book
been
off
working
the-
in the video game industry for years, and as we all know,
What's Tim doing right now?
you get paid to play video games.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's been really good.
sometimes you got to tighten up those graphics, but most of the
a
time,
lot of video games.
Most of the time you play video games for money.
Yeah. This one is for pleasure.
So, on what system have you been playing?
You son of a bitch. This guy,
what?
Luigi,
Yeah.
on the 3DS. Mm-hmm. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
You only play games with like dark story.
The
like,
only
dark
reason
past.
okay, so there's two reasons I bought it.
Luigi
One,
Origins.
because it had a dark past, which I appreciate. There was three reasons then. Reason two.
So, reason one, dark past.
Reason one, dark past. Reason two, Jake sold me so... And like, look, not just on the podcast. Look, you can stop a podcast. You can just stop listening to this. You probably already have.
Well, you can't because we're doing it.
Right. But then I spend the rest of my week with Jake where he's doing nothing but talking about Mario 3D Land. It just keeps following me around. It's not just here.
Oh, so that was your 3DS?
No.
No, this
Oh.
is my right here. Yeah. That's
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Look at that.
That's not my, that's not my 3D.
You'll notice these Zelda gold.
I thought that maybe that was Jake.
There's one right there, too. Right behind you.
Oh my god, they're everywhere. There's two 3DSs in this room now. So, get ready for that shit.
Waiting for yours. You should get a 2DS, the wedge, the slice of cheese.
Oh, the big weird one?
Yeah, where they like
That is an
flatten out.
unappealing looking device, let
Well-
me tell you.
Your birthday's in a year. Damn it, Christmas is coming up.
You get that new Pokemon. Apparently that's good.
Don't you start. So yeah, so I wanted to just. He sold me so hard on that game that I was like, okay, I got to get 3D Land. But then I said to myself, look, they're like it's $40.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't. Not that like that's like gonna put me in the poorhouse or anything, but like I can't talk about it on the podcast after this. Only just to say, yeah, dude, it's fucking good. Which
I would have more to say. It's a Mario game.
yeah, there's a whole another layer of that onion for you to.
I have not yet peeled that onion.
Yeah. So, but then I saw that Luigi's Mansion was also very well received, and so that was the second reason. I was like, well, I'm not going to get 3D Land, but I want to get a game for this thing because it's sitting here. And then the third reason was I legitimately felt guilty, like seriously felt guilty buying a Mario game in the year of Luigi. Because I feel like it's an actual, like I have fucking crossed
Sending
over.
the wrong message.
And it's
Nintendo.
actually a thing that worked.
I think the right message is being sent. I think the message that we need more Luigi in the world is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I
literally-
meant he would have been sending the
Exactly.
wrong message.
I would've- yeah.
Your dollars were not supporting Luigi in the year of Luigi.
Right. I just felt so bad. So bad. And of course, I buy Luigi's Mansion, and the first opening cutscene, his cooler, like more athletic brother is referenced twice. And Luigi's just like, he makes a noise like that when he just gets shit on.
Yeah.
But Luigi's Mansion is fucking good. I'm going to say a sentence that is going to sound dumb.
Go for it.
But it, like, reminded me what a video game is. It is just a fucking video
come
game.
on.
It is just a fucking video game. It's been so long. I mean, I played that Batman game, which is a video game. But, like, it's still trying to be a movie sometimes.
Oh,
and
sure,
it's still
I see what
trying
you
to be
mean.
this thing sometimes. This is just video game.
It's a Nintendo game. It's like your child's
Right. That's what I mean.
you mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's like...
Exactly. Sean's childhood definition of a video game
Right.
is like, this is just a fucking video game. No, just go into the place and do the challenges. And
Walk into a room, suck up ghosts.
But it's great because it's basically a Mario adventure game, and it's a better adventure game than most point-and-click adventure games are these days. It's really good. It is, it's just a straight-up adventure game.
I had never played a Luigi's Mansion game. I only had looked at the videos when the GameCube came out. So I
Same.
thought that all you really did was suck up ghosts, and then like a door would open, basically. But what I didn't know is that you can suck up every other goddamn thing in the house because Luigi has that vacuum cleaner on him. But the thing that cracked me up about that is that I guess this takes place in the Super Mario Brothers world, so there are big round gold coins with a 1 on them. But then also there's just gems and dollar bills. So Luigi just loosed the shit out of these houses.
Yeah.
Where he's just like sucking the vacuum on the wall or something, then a picture frame comes off. Like 20 Mario coins come out, but then also just like a stack of cash starts floating around, which he also just walks on to pick up.
Yeah. I actually found a stack, like a little, like a foot-high stack of cash in a mattress.
When you used the
Suck
vacuum,
it up.
it did it one bill at a time.
It went everywhere.
Oh, it
There's
just-
money just went everywhere. Like it was like the hurricane
Luigi just
money
made it rain?
grab. Yeah, it was so good. It's because the designer who realized, they're like, well, this isn't technically a Mario game. We could actually just put currency in this, like cash. Like that realization plus
Well,
the
also, it's
vacuum was just
it's
sort of
more
like,
fun.
yeah, a eureka moment.
Also,
it's so good.
I don't remember the GameCube one well enough because I never actually owned it, but I don't remember if it had the same diorama style cameras as this does, because this game, Luigi's inside of a haunted house. Like, it's very much like a cartoony Nintendo version of like the Resident Evil house, but it's filled with little cartoon ghosts. But the entire thing is shot from a fixed perspective, so
Yeah.
it's always
The camera, there's
it's
a
always like one point perspective, like
Yeah.
like a Wes Anderson movie or something. So,
basically there's just an invisible fourth wall that the camera can like truck in on
But
and truck out,
because
but
of that,
that's
like
it.
when you go through a door on the left or the right side of the screen, it literally
Just
just
like Animal Crossing has that same perspective.
doesn't it where it just pushes. Yeah, but yeah, I guess
but
that's
it has the
true.
same perspective, but not the same stylistic choice that you're
Yeah, where
saying.
you go through the door and it does do the shoebox diorama thing of just moving into the next screen, but you seeing
the in between the
the in
walls.
between the walls go by.
What's crazy is
It works
I
good
went
with
through a
3D.
secret passage where I sat in a toilet and it like did like the Indiana Jones fireplace like 180. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then as I was getting flung through the wall, I could see coins in between the walls.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, "Oh, I gotta get those coins out of there." I still haven't got them out of there, but yeah, there was. Oh my god, I got into a room, a secret room between the walls that was called the secret pocket. It was just such a hilarious description of the name because I'm like foyer, hallway, library, secret pocket.
Well, yeah, most houses built, but before 1900, it's rare for the secret pocket to be left in the original condition.
Oh, this is pristine pocket. Yeah, untouched pocket.
It's a mint pocket.
Really good.
Original
Very good.
finishing in the secret pocket.
But yeah, it just feels like an adventure game to me. It made me feel like I was playing a obviously way less verbose and not as inventory driven.
It's like a Nintendo-y Day of the Tentacle, right?
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
It's freaking good.
It's weird.
Oh, I love it. I'm thinking about it right now.
It's funny that
We're going to go to Dear Mom after this. I'm just going to play Luigi's Mansion. You guys are going to have to sit there and talk to each other. I'm going to be in a bar as an adult
People are probably just listening
playing
to
a
this
Nintendo
going,
game.
Finally. But
and somebody's going to come up to me and go, oh, look at that guy that's playing his Nintendo, and they're going to be
Oh my
right.
God. We never talked about this. This was fucking funny. Nick and I went to Dear Mom this was, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. And it was 10 or 11 at night. We ordered food. We ordered some drinks. We sat down at one of the big tables. All the booths were taken. And the booth, we didn't realize this when we walked in. The booth, directly to our left, was full. It was 7 people crammed in there with an Oculus Rift.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
And you saw this?
No, you guys tweeted about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And, a laptop and then a guy in an Oculus Rift. And it was fucking weird. I'd never seen an Oculus Rift outside of work, outside of my job, which is a video game studio. And then there's one in a bar, in a public place. In the least appropriate place to have an Oculus Rift.
fucking reputation is a weird place. Just
I
keeps
know.
going up and up.
Oh, man, if that guy's there tonight, I'm not even going to feel weird.
The thing that was the craziest, the thing that was unsettling and hilarious about it was that the guy who was playing was on the end, so he was closest to the exterior of the booth, so closest to us. And he just, whatever he was doing and whatever game he was playing, you look around in that game by physically turning your head, and he spent 75% of the time with his head at a 90-degree angle, effectively staring right
out of the
at
booth.
us. So we're just looking. This guy, wearing this huge apparatus, just looking right at us, and it felt like a horror movie or something because he has no eyes.
One of those eyeless,
but he was looking,
Guillermo del Toro monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, with the eyes in his hands.
When someone is looking directly in your direction, even if you know they can't see you, it still feels like they're looking at you.
Well, that's as effective when someone has blacked out sunglasses.
Exactly.
Their face is just turned towards
you. It just makes it look weird.
Because you're an animal.
Yeah, you're like, what? Why are you looking at me if you can't see me? That's what it felt like. It was this huge, weird,
your animal brain is screaming.
David Cronenberg, Videodrome shit, where it's big, crazy video apparatus
but then
staring
all he does
at
is
you.
Stare exactly at you.
Yeah, with his head at a 90-degree angle, which is very unnatural.
What you don't know is that his Oculus Rift just had a camera projected on it that zoomed on your face. So he was just staring at you.
Me going, look at that guy. What's he doing?
And he's saying boop, 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 like Terminator Vision saying, you have been identified, spotted, suspect.
Emotion, uncertainty. Yeah. God, it was fucking.
But he was saying that while also thinking that he was skydiving. It was odd.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
I
fine.
stupidly want to keep talking about Luigi's Mansion, even though I only played 2 minutes of it. The feeling that I enjoyed the most about Luigi's Mansion was going into.
There's a lot of feelings to enjoy.
Going into a room, and these rooms are really rich. The lighting is good. The
art in this game is
really pretty.
It's just
top
an
notch.
incredibly dense room. Just it is an old sort of abandoned, haunted mansion. So there's carpets on the ground, suits of armor, tons of photos and tapestries and fireplaces and vases and stuff. But you go into a room, and at least most of the rooms that you went into when you first walked into the room, there was nothing happening. It was a notable event when you went into a room and it was already boisterous and going crazy.
It was generally dark and scary.
So the whole way that this game works is by you going into a room and then using the vacuum cleaner to poke and prod at stuff.
Or open a drawer with X. With your hands.
But you're interacting with all of the specific tiny items in this room, and then wacky ghosts come popping out, or you'll do a weird thing use the vacuum and notice that the corner of the rug is coming up through physics, and then back up with the vacuum on, and then the rug rolls up, and there's a tile on the ground that you
there's
step
a pressure switch,
and then that does another thing in the room.
That turned off the fireplace. This is a classic adventure game.
Which then led you down into another secret room, but it's nice to be playing a game that is a Nintendo game that is partially player-paced, where sort of your exploration of the space is what causes events to occur that you then have to deal with.
Which is very non-Nintendo.
If you just go crazy and just wreck the room, a ton of ghosts come out, and then you're having to deal with 3 or 4 ghosts at a time. It's cool, and having all that happen with the AAA Nintendo cartoon polish, Like, the sound effects loop in that game is really good. The stupid sound when a ghost or any object gets sucked up is the most satisfying thing in the world. It's good.
Luigi gets nervous and sings with the music.
That is also
so
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, it's weird. It actually, a lot of the things that I think we talked about when we talked about audio in games way back, we were talking about that one reader mail. We were talking about Mario Galaxy, how it has like really nice, playful, interactive music. It has really satisfying sounds all the time. This game has that, but it has like Luigi's version of it, where he gets nervous and sings along instead of there being this weird.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's cool.
He has a cell phone that is actually a DS that has an obscure Mario ringtone. It's very good.
Yeah, it's
The game is awesome. I really like it very much.
Sounds good.
I'm not very far.
Thanks to Nick Herman at Telltale for recommending this stupid game.
Yeah, it's really good.
I call it stupid, but that's because I love it.
Yeah.
Luigi.
I feel for your kids one day.
What?
I call it stupid because I love it. Like, we're stupid. Oh,
I love
it's because
you.
I love you. Fucking idiot. You want to take a break?
Do we? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, let's take a break.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Video games.
We would like to thank our sponsor for this week, Audible. You can go to audiblepodcast.com/wizard for a free audiobook download.
And a free month of subscription.
It's in a honey of a deal, Chris. Can you believe it?
Oh, I believe it all right.
I also
I've done
believe
it.
it.
You
even though I wasn't
should.
asked.
Chris and I are having
I
a
wasn't
dialogue.
consulted about whether or not this Audible deal is believable.
Or a honey of a deal, which it is.
Oh, it is.
Okay. So the reader recommend comes from our friend Will Smith at tested.com. He recommends Bitter Seeds by Ian Trigilis. We're going to get a fucking shitload of email now about my shaming or my lack of respect for this notable author. Mm-hmm. It's narrated by Kevin, another last name, Pariso. He says it's great and British. Check it out. And we have an Idle Thumbs recommend for the week.
Chris,
what do you think?
Yeah. We're going to recommend The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the funny thing about Le Guin is that she's ultimately, I would say, a writer of anthropological fiction.
Some would say she was sci-fi.
Well, I would say she creates fantasy and science fiction worlds not to explore alternate pasts or futures, but to contemplate possible cultures, different ways of knowing and being in the world.
Really?
Yeah. So let me give you just an example. The Dispossessed, this novel, documents the cultural clash between a peaceful anarchist society on an impoverished planet and their capitalist neighbors on a resource-rich world.
We don't. Yeah. I wonder what really inspired her to write like this.
I would say she was likely influenced by her parents, the noted cultural anthropologists and authors Alfred and Theodora Kroeber.
Wow, you know just inherently a ton about Ursula K. Le Guin.
I know so much about Ursula K. Le Guin.
Because I know some of the readers took umbrage with your reference to her as a children's author, but it seems like she's more of an author of the people.
Well, you know what I would say about that allegation? I would say she's indeed written many books specifically for children and adolescents. And her Wizard of Earthsea series is equally appealing to younger and older readers. So I would say my impression of that was not entirely baseless.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Sit corrected.
Yeah.
So do the rest of the readers.
Yeah, well,
all of them.
You know, maybe you'll think about this next time you criticize my off-the-cuff remarks about a noted author.
Never will again.
No. So,
Thanks again to Audible.
audiblepodcast.com/wizard. The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. You just gotta get it.
You gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Gotta have the stuff.
Video games.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay.
Yoo-hoo.
it's sad that he doesn't say Mario.
He's not looking
in
for
this one.
Mario.
Oh, that's right. In Luigi's Mansion 1, he's looking for Mario. Yeah.
No, he knows right. He knows where Mario is.
This time he's in it for the money.
He's in it for the bucks. Fat stacks.
We back?
So we're back.
We're back.
What the heck was that? Where's the energy, pal?
We're back.
Oh man, you excited about reader mail, Jake?
Yes.
So this is mail from you, the readers. Please write us at questions@idlethumbs.net with your great questions.
Please
Yeah.
do write us a ton of mail this week, like 1 million reader mails.
Anything, but anything.
Good ones.
What you should
only.
have for dinner?
Nope.
Only good ones.
Cool places to take your girlfriend?
Nuh-uh,
Nope.
just good ones.
I mean, that would be fine if it's in the San Francisco area. That'd be helpful information. But
Only in that circumstance. We're going to get like 12 of those.
How to do a French braid?
nope. If it's a Nobi Boy, yes.
It's not hard.
All right. Anyway, Jonathan Anderson writes, Spelunky Explorers Club. I've been watching the Spelunky Explorers Club, poor Nick Brecken, and have noticed a strange yet compelling side effect of the format. From the beginning of each video, I know exactly how long the run will be, simply because the video player itself has a countdown clock attached. It adds a certain fatalism to the experience. The player will usually die at the end of the video at the appointed time, and the player progresses unaware of the time, place, or circumstance. It's a particularly interesting. Yeah, it is good. It's a particularly interesting sensation when the player's narration is in specific contrast to the impending death clock. Confidence seems hollow when the viewer knows there's only 10 seconds left on the clock. The most interesting example so far has to be Chris's run for the 6th of October. As the clock was ticking down, the ghost appeared from the direction of the exit. I was sure that I was seeing the end coming, and the timer itself added quite a bit of tension to the scene. Then, after a miraculous recovery and a deft sidestepping of the ghost, the inevitable march of the video promised that victory would be short-lived. that is really good. I remember that. I was like stoked to get away from the ghost in like the nick of time. But then whatever. Completely coincidentally, I've been watching a lot of How I Met Your Mother recently, a show whose storytelling is predicated entirely on spoiling the end. All of this makes me wonder how the concept of a non-sequential presentation might be integrated into mechanical gameplay. A great example of this is World 1 and Braid, but I'd love to see more. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that observation.
That's really good and weird, and it reminds me of a dumb thing about me. So I'll just talk about that.
Do it.
Before we all jump on to that, go ahead.
No, go ahead if you have an answer.
Well, I had a dumb thing about Jake too, but I want to hear this first.
No, it's just when the iPod first came out, and the way that it represents time in songs, that it shows on the left.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The iPod.
Oh, the iPod.
Where it shows time elapsed on the left of the like playback scrubber and time remaining on the right side, and I would constantly find myself when it gets to like the last 8 seconds, just wondering always, how is this the end of the song? Like, how are they going to like, where I like my brain would start thinking about it backwards, where I'd be like, okay, the people performing this song know they only have like 5 seconds left, so they've got to turn this around and close it out. But it doesn't sound like they are. And like, I don't know why that started making my brain do that, but I just started processing the final quarter of every piece of new music I listened to for the first time on my iPod that way. So hearing him...
No Tom Petty song was like that, by the way. None. They all fade out for like a minute.
Yeah. But hearing him talk about processing Spelunky runs that way, like totally maps in my brain to that, where you're like, okay,
well,
it's coming to it. But in this case, it's not prepared. It actually is like that.
Yeah, an arrow.
In general, that just speaks to, I think, how media like music and video content and so on is. I feel like the amount of time things take in media feels really different than how time feels in other things. Like, you get so much out of a second.
That's what blows my mind when I was watching those countdowns.
Video. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's crazy. You can get so much in there, which is one of the things actually that drives me bonkers about how long games are, by the way, because you can get a lot with a little. But anyway, that's not the point. It is shocking how much can happen in like 10 seconds. I mean, Spelunky is an extreme example.
His example of that is really good, though. Of like, he's like, okay, that ghost is going to kill Chris, then the rest of it is just going to be post-game wrap-up. Oh, he made it out. Okay, like twist, and then you died.
Yeah,
like, that's cool.
Right. Yeah, and like, it's past a point, it's inevitable. But
the retrospective life is like that though too, which is so frightening. You're just like, I'm good. Okay, I'm paralyzed. Like that happens, and that's horrific when you rewind it backwards.
So you're saying that there is a person who's watching your YouTube video like one level higher on the existential
it's like
plane.
He doesn't even know what the fuck is about to happen right now. Well, like, I already know he's got 2 seconds left before I'm going to see a Pringles ad and then get another one of these. Exactly. Yeah.
But it's different in retrospect. Like in retrospect is one thing.
Do you ever do that though? When you're like right before a terrible thing happens to you, you know exactly what your frame of mind was and exactly like where you like what mood you were in and what you were thinking about, what you thought you were going to do next right before that bad thing happened, and then.
Well, and also I have the same for when a really terrible situation is narrowly avoided, like in life.
Oh, of course. Right.
Your brain records it in the same way,
right?
Even if it actually was totally fine and nothing ended up terrible happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think stuff like recorded music and video content and things like that, because you're paying attention to everything on an incredibly micro scale. Like in life, you walk around doing things and like I'm going to walk from here to there. So you're not focusing on every single footstep. You're just focusing on going to get there. And like maybe you're seeing things happen in between, but it's incidental. Whereas in a movie or a piece of music or something, the whole point of it is that you're essentially watching every frame. Like you're listening to every beat. And several beats of a song can occur in 1 second, depending on the tempo. Which potentially, which is crazy, because nothing in life happens in that amount of time, but you can communicate a lot of information in video or audio that way. As in the Idle Thumbs podcast, which obviously squeezes every last microsecond out of its running time. But I don't know. I think about that a lot when I play games like Spelunky, because in Spelunky, I'm increasingly of the opinion that Spelunky is really one of
the greatest games of all time.
It is. It's one of the great games. It fucking is.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
No,
I'm not. I don't want to say things like the greatest because it's meaningless. Like I don't care about that.
But I'll stop short and say the great.
No, I'm saying great. I think is a meaningful thing.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely.
It's a great game. Like it's a capital G great game. Like it's
top 10.
I don't fucking know, but like
top game.
Remo's top 10. Go. In no particular order.
Fuck off. Worst.
Okay. Spelunky, maybe.
But no, I think this game is
get it out of him.
Is worthy. It's like worthy of serious like thought and consideration. Like if you're making games that have any element of like randomness or interlocking systems in them, because none of the individual systems in this game are ambitious at all, really. Like they're super simple, but they interact with each other in such just preposterously interesting, deep ways. Like I'm really only playing that game once a day. Sometimes I do an additional one after the daily challenge, like just because I'm like I die real quick and I want to get some more out of it. But for the most part, I'm playing 1 to 2 games a day, which at the level I am, which is kind of I would say intermediate, not too far above beginner, I guess, but like somewhere in the intermediate range. Like that means my runs are like 15 minutes, often shorter, rarely longer, and so I'm not. That's one of the reasons I'm not progressing in skill very much is because I'm just not playing enough to like really do it. But even then, you're
not taking it seriously. I'm
not taking it super seriously, no. But there even in that kind of like like intramural level of like engagement, I'm still learning things all the time, and like incredible surprising things will still happen, like just combinations that I've never seen before, and like surprising results of things that are new. It's just amazing. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know if Derek Yu could have consciously set out to make something that, and like I think Andy Hull, I think is the other guy, the programmer designer guy. Like I don't know if those guys could have set out to make something this well conceived. I don't know how you would. Maybe they did.
They also had 2 shots at it because Derek, you did the first Game Maker version, so I think that he probably did that and said, "Oh, okay," and then they went deep on it because the Spelunky on XBLA was in development for like over a year, I think at least, which is a lot for a remake.
Yeah, it's true. No, I mean it's I'm sure that's the case. But yeah, this game's good. It's funny seeing Nick Brecken like start to come to this realization too, because he played that game for like a week and he's like, "This is stupid. This game sucks. Its controls are shitty and like hitboxes are dumb and like I just die all the time." And then like last
he loves hearing this.
Whatever. He doesn't care. Last night
he's not listening.
He finally got to the jungles, I think, for the first time, and I had his first, I think, good run that wasn't just complete bullshit death in like the first or second level, and I think he just finally got it. And it's like once that game starts to kind of reveal itself to you, it's really remarkable. It's just really amazing. It's a really incredible piece of work.
In yesterday's daily challenge, I accidentally killed the first, maybe it was the day before, killed the first shopkeeper. And then that just changes the whole rest of your experience.
Oh, it totally does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like taking the idol and causing the boulder, like killing shopkeepers, like certain things will just ripple And sometimes one of those causes that, sometimes taking the idol kills the shopkeeper, and then that, or doesn't kill him.
I went to
actually.
3
Worst
more
situation.
boards with shopkeepers.
Oh yeah,
after
they get
me.
pissed. They stay pissed.
But man,
Yeah. Well, it's crazy too to see how high the skill ceiling on this game is. Spoilers, fucking impossibly high.
right?
Because if you watch guys like Jason Killingsworth or like Anthony Birch on the Spelunky Explorers Club, they just like take out shopkeepers. Like, it's just what they do. They just fucking take them out, and it's crazy to see because they just do nutso things.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. Anyway,
So
I didn't answer that guy's question at all. Sorry, I just talked about Spelunky.
it made us talk about weird stuff. Alec Frazier, Benjamin Borden, James Andrews,
Dr. James Andrews, the famed athlete, orthopedist.
John Lewis Swain, Jamie Altman, Scott Markwell, David Sugu, David Betor, John Shapiro, Richard Dahlman, Jay Imhoff, and about 30 people on Twitter have robot news.
Even Adam, former roommate Adam,
Yeah.
had robot news this week.
This robot news has
He
been
doesn't
so
listen to the
overexposed
podcast.
that I don't know what to talk
A guy
about.
who does not listen to the podcast had robot
said
news.
robot news. Yeah.
What's going on in the world of robots? You know what? I didn't click on any of them.
Killer cats.
What, really?
The makers of the Big Dog have now made a cat called the WildCat that can run.
Wild with an eye?
Yes.
Okay.
Wild with an eye.
Good.
Well, I mean,
You never know. Yeah,
I
You don't
actually,
know.
here's a fact. I don't know the ground speed of the WildCat.
I think it's 18 miles per hour.
Okay, that's fast.
Yeah.
That's Usain Bolt.
It can run 18 miles an hour and it can also round turns and it
It's
does it by,
crazy.
So can Usain Bolt.
yeah, it does it by like galloping.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch. You should watch the video. It's nuts.
So-
like the slow motion of it rounding a corner is like, oh, we're
I
fucked.
feel like the bandwidth of robot news is shortening. Like just
It's because
robot news, and then like 7 days later, breakthrough in robot
Here,
news.
let's watch this.
Yeah.
Like
right.
that's
It's
troubling. Of course,
of course, it sounds like a fucking bee.
Jake's new fucking ringtone.
Oh,
It sounds like revving
It's
a
not,
car.
it's not doing anything.
okay.
It sounds
No,
like revving
I
an
don't know.
F1
It just looks really excited.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just hopping around.
It's not doing anything,
warm it
dude.
up.
Whatever.
Just warm it up.
I'm not worried about those things coming after us. It's in a
Wait, hold on. It sees you.
it's in a little bit of a trot.
Oh, there's that human being. It's this.
Galloping. No. That's faster than I would like anything to go. But it can't course correct.
Yeah, I can.
Wow. That's a full gallop.
Yeah,
That's
anyway.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
So it actually just looks like a fucking horse. Oh, there's the Boston Dynamics slow-mo that you
Yeah.
crave.
oh my god, that's just Mirror Bridge's fucking horse
Yeah,
image.
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
Yep. That was good radio right there.
Whatever.
Anyway, check it out.
Oh, sorry.
Does it trip?
We might have to cut this. No, it does worse things. This is when it does like this.
It looks like it lost a leg there.
You just wait for the like Olympic swimming flip turn move.
No. Oh my god.
It's fine.
Okay, so for our readers at home, it drops its front legs and just scrapes its chin on the ground and then does a full 180.
Yeah, it doesn't care.
No, okay.
So there.
So how the
Yeah,
Is
your
this-
point about the like decreasing half-life of robot news.
Exactly.
like, it's basically Moore's law as applied to robotics, aka we're fucked in 5 years.
right? If the camera like zooms out and there's just 2 robots filming this robot, and then zooms out one more, and it's just another robot editing the video of this robot, and then there's another robot
Full
uploading it to
reveal that Boston
YouTube.
Dynamics actually is just
It's just
robots.
robots.
We've been sitting here wondering when they're going to learn to make other robots, and they're like, "Dude, we've been putting these on YouTube for a fucking year."
always remember the footage you're seeing is a year old.
Right. Oh, so Boston Dynamics has actually been replaced by robots. The robots will upload the video of the Boston Dynamics office with just 20 dead guys.
Just rotten year-old
won't know
corpses.
for
A year old. What's the name of the director who directed District 9?
Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil Blum. Yeah.
His videos that he made like 10 years ago or 8 years ago, the ones that were before
yeah.
District 9, all looked like Boston Dynamics videos, but they were fictional. Like, it was just a weird sort of steel cage circuit board robot that moves all realistically and was shot by a handheld documentarian.
Are you presupposing that Neil Blomkamp is also a robot?
No, I was just I wasn't going to go that far, but I liked those movies a lot because, or those shorts, like they were fascinating because they looked so real, and they're completely out of date. It's crazy to me that is the case. I don't know.
That reminds me. Have you guys seen the teaser videos for Frictional's new game Soma?
No.
Because
Remember you brought this
they're
up.
kind of like that. They're it's weird. They're live action, which is kind of goofy, but they look really convincing because they don't go for full on video game FMV bullshit. It's 2 videos so far, and each one is just a person in a room. It's like a scientist, and she has a crazy, weird, just nutso looking machine that she's trying to experiment on to figure out what it is. I don't know exactly what the context of this is, but presumably whatever organization she's part of has recovered these crazy pseudo robotic devices, and she's trying to interact with them, and just weird shit happens, and they're really I don't know,
Is it like Primer or something from how you're describing
yeah
it?
it's kind of like Primer or something in the vibe a little bit, but I like how restrained they are, and I hope, obviously the game's not going to have any of that FMV stuff in it, so knowing that that's the case,
Unfortunately.
assuming that's the case, it's a pretty good tone setter for just knowing those guys actually know how to make a real video game. It's a pretty good little teaser.
You say that till in the third one you start hearing the piano from the Donnie Darko arrangement of Mad World come in.
Gross.
And then the footage cuts to 300 frame a second slow-mo of her interfacing with this machine.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the URL of it so I can tell people where to go.
Okay.
But it's called Soma. I can't search for that here from San Francisco because that's the name of one of our neighborhoods. So it just Google thinks I want other things.
Oh, good. Thanks, Google.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid fact. Not actually a fact. I apologize if I pronounced your name incorrectly when reading off the robot roll call. Also, sorry if you were a person who wrote me with robot news and I did not say your name. But everyone saw that cat. So, yeah.
Oh, the website is nextfrictionalgame.com.
Smart.
It's easy enough. They probably registered that before they shared the name.
We should probably get nextfrictionalgame.com or frictionalgameafterthat.com.
Yeah.
If you want that, you should probably get it at hover.com/wizard.
Yeah.
That's
We keep sending people to that URL.
I know. I'm hoping because Hover will hear this.
Yeah.
Hover is our
come
favorite
back to us.
sponsor.
Although we love our current sponsor, audiblepodcast.com/wizard.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Hover, come back to us.
It's worth pointing out, though, that you still get 10% off at that
Yeah,
Hover
it still
URL.
works. Works
We
like a
don't get
champ.
anything from it, but
I use it all the time.
I use it all the time for 10% off. But
Yeah.
audiblepodcast.com/wizard is where it's really at this
Yeah.
week.
That's the choice URL.
Choicest.
Mm-hmm.
We have anything else?
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Do we?
We can do one more reader mail.
Yeah, let's do one more. While you're looking, congratulations to my sister who got engaged yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations.
Love you, Siobhan.
She doesn't listen to this.
I know. But if the one that she does, she'll know that I
I
care.
wonder if Sean talked about me getting engaged that week. Oh.
I did.
Then you'll get a text with an emoji heart.
She's marrying that guy that they have the two 61-inch projection TVs next to each other and played 120-inch
Red Dead?
Red Dead.
Yeah.
Remember when I told you about that? Yeah.
Here,
They're
here.
in love.
Here.
Cecil Philpott writes.
I like Cecil's a good name. I like that name a
pretty
lot.
good. I'm grateful to fellow reader Ronald Hayden for attempting to set the record straight on Ursula Le Guin's literary output.
There's been a lot of back and forth about this.
I know. There's one more back and forth here. However, Le Guin has indeed written many books intended specifically for children and adolescents, and her Wizard of Earthsea series, insert Wizard sample here, is equally appealing to younger and older readers. So Chris's impression of her work is not baseless. Gotta clear my name here. Furthermore, I would argue that Le Guin is ultimately a writer of anthropological fiction. In other words, she creates fantasy and science fiction worlds not to explore alternate pasts or futures, but to contemplate possible cultures, different ways of knowing and being in the world. For instance, The Left Hand of Darkness follows the struggles of a human envoy to comprehend family and social arrangements among a hermaphroditic species. Her other Hugo and Nebula award-winning novel, The Dispossessed, documents the cultural clash between a peaceful anarchist society on an impoverished planet and their capitalist neighbors on a resource-rich world. As San Francisco residents, you should check out Le Guin's challenging but rewarding work, Always Coming Home, which imagines a people deeply rooted in the natural environment of California. Her fiction was likely influenced by her parents, the noted cultural anthropologists and authors Alfred and Theodora Kroeber. Thanks as always for the entertaining discussions of all things literary and ludic, Cecil.
Is there a chance, though, that when this first came up, you were actually thinking about Madeleine L'Engle, the author of A Wrinkle in Time?
No, there wasn't,
Okay.
because I have made that mistake in the past,
Okay.
like years ago. So now I'm always careful not to confuse those. But yeah, actually we had additional. There were other people who said on Twitter, "Oh, I think she wrote A Wrinkle in Time," and like I guess this is an incredibly common misconception to make. But no, not her.
Cool. Well,
A lot of updates, a lot of clarifications, a lot of news. Mm-hmm. Thanks, readers.
Just making sure you're updated and clear on everything, and informed about the news.
idle thumbs.
Idle thumbs.
Making the most of every beat.